Welcome to Build for Health, the show that redefines strength because muscle isn't just for looks. I'm Pete Wright here with Coach Srdjan Injac, and today we are building a body that's built to last, and we start by standing up. Srdjan, here we are. We're talking about the sitting disease today.
Yes.
This is the plague of my entire career.
Not just yours.
Disease. Yeah, I don't think I'm alone. My hunch is, even though there is an increased conversation around what sedentary lifestyles do to us physiologically, I still think there are people who haven't internalized what's happening in your body when you don't move. And I think that's our chance today. Our chance here is to help them see themselves not sedentary for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they call it the sitting disease. What is it actually? I mean, you've heard this before, the sitting disease. What does it mean?
Yeah, it's most kind of popular with the comedian people calling it sitting disease. It describes the kind of a cluster of these negative health effects that are linked to the prolonged sitting and that sedentary behavior. It has so many negative effects. There's a lot of studies that have been shown that people who even exercise but still have that sedentary healthy lifestyle, they have increased risk of issues like obesity, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, poor posture, so it doesn't matter if you just work out for 1 hour. If you're sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day, it's still going to impact you negatively. So the body more cares about what you do in 23 hours than just that 1 hour.
I'm trying to keep a secret from my body of what's happening in all those other hours. Let's break it down kind of region by region, right? Because I think the first thing people think about mostly is posture. I mean, you already dropped posture, and I know that's the most obvious tour of damage.
So we can start with the posture. I mean, the posture becomes pretty much, it's your identity. And here's something that most people don't think about. So your posture isn't just a muscle. It's neurological. So your nervous system learns what's normal based on repetition. So if you're sitting and slouching all day, that becomes like your default. And when you try to stand up straight, right, it actually feels uncomfortable, like it feels like you're forcing it. I get a lot of people and they say things like, oh, I can't fix my posture, but it's not that they can't, it's that their body has been trained into that different pattern.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. Like I don't know if you can see me in camera. I'm like constantly adjusting and sitting up. I feel like you're calling me out right now.
But yeah, and so many people come with that problem, and that's why I look at their posture first. And until we fix that, we can't really go on and doing all the other stuff, right? Because you have to have a right posture in order to have a good form doing all the other exercises. So people come to me all the time and they can't fix their posture, right? So I'm trying to correct their posture first, because if we don't do that, we can't do anything else, right? We have to have a right posture in order to have a good form doing all these other exercises. So they're very uncomfortable. I feel like I'm forcing them into a position that feels unnatural for them, which it is at this point because they're so used to it. And I have to get their body used to actually being straight and have the right posture, good posture. And it takes a long time because they can't pull their shoulders back. They can't relax. Their traps are huge and they're just slouched down. And it's just so many different issues and problems that they have. And many of them don't even realize that they have the problem.
This is, there are all sorts of slang terms. One of them that is common, I think, for people who sit and work at a computer all day is tech neck, right? Where their posture, they sort of curve forward and their head doesn't look entirely on top of their shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like going to fall off.
Yeah. So the upper body and like thoracic mobility. So when you sit, especially at the desk, like you naturally will fall into that rounded position, right? So shoulders come forward, head goes forward, the upper back rounds. So over time, your thoracic spine, which is supposed to move and rotate, becomes stiff, right? And that creates like a chain of reactions. So you lose the mobility in your upper back, which affects your shoulders. And then also your breathing becomes more shallow because you're not using your diaphragm properly. So, when you do exercise and movements like overhead press and squatting, even just trying to stand up straight just becomes harder. And I think a lot of people, they just need to also stretch more. And the reality is that their body just adapted to that position for hours every day. Whatever they're doing, they're sitting, and just that's a reality.
I feel like we've talked about how you like to say, you've got to give your body an excuse to change. The reciprocal of that is like your body forgets to change. It forgets how, and it can get stuck in these positions if you're not careful. And I say that like as that person, right? Like it's a long road to figure out how to move again. And will I ever really learn? I don't know, but it's better when things start to loosen up. Life is better.
Oh yeah, yes. I find myself even I'll get stiff if I sit more than an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then trying to get up, and I'm like, oh my God, like my neck, my back, my legs, my knees, everything, your joints, everything will just stiffen up.
Well, and let's do one more obvious external thing, or I guess internal external. So we talk about the thoracic vertebrae, we talk about the neck and tech neck. If we go downstairs a little bit, we're talking about hips and hip flexors. When people hear the hip flexor question, right? You have tight hip flexors. What does that mean?
Well, yeah, tight hip flexor because you're sitting for that long period of time, right?
And your hip flexors, they're the front.
Yes.
Of your leg? Okay.
They're at the front of your leg. So that becomes more tight, right? And then your hamstrings becomes also more tight. But your glutes are becoming now weaker. So it affects the whole posture, right?
Yeah.
Because the power also comes from the glutes, what keeps you straight as well. So people have problem with that. So it does affect your lower body as well. That's why you feel it in your hip flexors. And everyone's so tight, those hip flexors, every time. When they come to you, it's like, oh, it hurts right here. It's because they're so tight. You've been sitting for too long.
Yeah.
And then your glutes are like now weaker, and that all goes into your lower back. Now your lower back hurts. So it's all connected, right? So those are the reasons. Like your lower back, I tell them, your lower back is fine. It's just weak. It's just because everything else around it is weaker. So the problem is coming from other areas. It's not literally your back that's bad. Right?
That's the big learning, right? Is that your back hurts not because of your back. Your back hurts because of all these other connected systems.
Yeah, because then we try to figure out where the problems are coming from, all the weak areas, and then your core as well. So it's all connected.
How do you turn? So it seems like if I sit too long, my glutes, my butt just gives up. It just decides I'm not going to contribute to the system anymore. How do you turn it back on?
No, you're just, you got to get up. You got to move. Get up. That's why they say get off your butt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's literally, that's what it exactly means. Like, you got to get off your butt and you got to move. At the same time, your glutes, which are supposed to be like your butt, is supposed to be one of the strongest and most important muscles in your body, basically just shuts off. So that's why people have the problem. And now you got, tight hip flexor pulling your pelvis forward, and weak glutes that, aren't doing their job. And that, leads to things like anterior pelvic tilt, lower back compensation. And it also can decrease performance when you try to lift, run, move at the gym. So, if you're training legs and doing squats and deadlifts, if your glutes aren't firing properly, you're not getting the full benefits.
When you see somebody who comes in who's you can tell they've just been sitting too much. right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What is the difference between looking at somebody who comes in after a year of sitting too much versus 10 years of sitting too much?
It's a lot harder to fix the posture. Body adapted to that posture, and it's a lot harder to correct it. And, people have been doing it for a year, they struggle a little bit, but 10 years, I mean, it's a long time. And if they haven't been doing anything, it's a struggle. It's a big struggle. It takes way longer. And of course, chances for injuries now higher.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be more careful than watch every movement in their form. And then they have to do more stretching, everything, more than somebody who's been only, doing that for a year and just sitting and slouching and all that stuff. It's a lot easier. They'll correct it a lot faster.
So we've talked about the neck and the spine. We talk about hips and hip flexors. You've already dropped the big M, the metabolism. This is one I don't think people think about at all.
Yeah, it is, because this is the where the science starts to get a little uncomfortable, because it's not just the posture anymore. It's about what's happening inside. So when you sit for those long periods of time, your ability to handle glucose, basically how your body process carbs, it starts to decline. So after you eat, instead of efficiently using that glucose for energy, your blood sugar stays elevated longer and your insulin sensitivity drops. And here's the part where most people don't realize that can happen even if you're working out constantly. The research has also shown that within about 60, maybe to 90 minutes of sitting, the enzyme LPL, which is the lipoprotein lipase, starts to drop significantly. So we'll just call it LPL enzyme. And that enzyme plays a big role in pulling fats out of your bloodstream.
Oh my God.
So it's helping your body use them properly. So basically your body processing carbs starts to decline, right? Everything goes down. And instead of efficiently using that glucose for energy, your blood sugar stays elevated.
Mm-hmm.
And that enzyme that sits on the walls of your blood vessels, especially around your muscles and fat tissue. Mm-hmm. And their job is to break down those fats from your bloodstream. Your body can either use them for energy or just store them as fat. The LPL, the enzyme, is like a gatekeeper that takes the fat out of the circulation and detects, where it needs to go. This is why it matters when you're sitting for too long, when you're physically inactive, especially, using your muscle, that LPL enzyme drops in.
Yeah, this leads to the energy crashes, right? The working in the afternoon and feeling like you just can't stay, you just can't focus, you can't stay attentive to what you're doing. You feel weak and heavy, and then you gain weight, even when you are changing your diet accordingly. That's a confusing one.
Yeah, that's how people start gaining those weights, even 1 or 2, 3 pounds here and there, because people don't realize that they're not really moving. And they're like, well, I'm going to the gym, I'm working out. That still doesn't matter. That's just 1 hour compared to 10 hours. What do you do for the other 23 hours?
And your body, your metabolic system is not doing the cleanup that it needs to be doing if you were moving.
It's still slow. Metabolism slows down. And it's just, people need to move more often. Even, make sure that you get those 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. When you eat, make sure you go for a walk for about 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. Get up after an hour of just sitting down, stretch, move around. I've seen people sit on exercise balls and things like that. So during the time they're sitting, they're kind of moving around. They don't want to feel stiff like they would feel sitting on a chair. It's just you have to move it around, because the body cares more about what you do, like I said, in that 23 hours than just one time you go and work out for 1 hour at the gym.
Yeah.
it's still, and people can't realize, well, what am I doing wrong? I'm eating healthy, I'm doing this, I'm going to the gym. Well, for those 23 hours, they kind of forget that part.
Well, I feel like that's one that's tricky, right? Because I can go to the gym 3 times a week, and when I'm there, I can be very, very focused and move hard, but I can still be at risk if the other 23 hours I'm sitting, is what I hear you saying.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true.
What I needed you to say was, don't worry, Pete, 1 hour of your workout will offset 8 hours. Like, there's a currency exchange. Like, for 1 hour of workout, what do I buy? How many Twinkies do I get for 1 hour of workout? It sounds like you're not going to give me any purchase there.
No, not much. I'm still going to have you move around, do some cardio, get your steps in, get out for a walk, and, get up and stretch. And because you're still going to be stiff, we got to correct that posture, speed up that metabolism. I mean, you come in an hour and we break down the muscle and, getting them stronger and bigger and all that stuff. But that's about it. Like, you don't, like I said, here people come at the gym and I'm like, you don't grow here. You don't get stronger. You break down. You're damaging pretty much your body, your muscles. And then depending what you do outside the gym, it matters. That will determine if you're going to grow, if you're going to get stronger, if your metabolism is going to speed up, all that stuff. So,
all right. So we've given a lot of really depressing stuff so far. Right. This is look, everybody, this is how your body is breaking down as you're listening to this podcast. Now, I want to talk about 2 stages of how we can kind of undo this sort of damage. And the first is your recommendations. You've already dropped some hints for what people need to be doing at home on their own or at work. How do they change their behavior in a way that fights off, it sort of staves off some of this negative behavior? And the second is, what would you do at the gym? How can you help people who have been sitting down for a long time see themselves coming into the gym and feeling like they have a plan? So let's start with what you're doing at the desk.
So at the desk, like I suggest people, there's a lot of people that have those desks where they're standing, not sitting.
Yep.
The desk that they can actually lift up, and that's way better.
Yeah.
So either use that, so make sure, and then it's a lot easier. Your posture is going to be better. You're not going to be slouching over, right? Rounding the shoulders and stuff like that. Sit on the exercise ball. You're going to be working your core, not even realizing you're going to be moving that ball around. Nobody sits exactly still at the ball. Whenever we're at the ball, we kind of like to bounce around and play around while you're on it, right? And then sit up, do some exercises on your breaks, on your lunch. Like I said, when you go for a lunch, make sure after you eat to walk around even for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's better than going straight to your desk, right? I know I did this presentation at one of the law firms last year, and they were doing like a fitness challenge and stuff like that. So I give them some exercises that they can do at their desks, and with just a ball and like a small band, like you can do a lot of stuff. And people had those like 15 minutes breaks, and I showed them some things that they can do. So to help them move around, and they said they felt better, like they have more energy. They haven't felt really stiff like before, and they were more likely to get up and do those things. And so find something that will get it. Yeah.
You know me, I love my Apple Watch. I do. I love it. I love it. And from the moment I got it, it starts yelling at me if I haven't stood up in the last hour. Like at minute 50 of every hour, if I haven't gotten up, it starts yelling at me, hey, go stand up for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And I started doing that from the beginning, and I think my life got better. What I hear a lot from people is, I hate these stupid stand notifications. I hate them. How do you turn them off? And
No, don't turn
I
them up.
understand that, but I feel like that's the point. They're supposed to get you up. If you stand up every hour, you won't hear the notifications. Just stand up every hour. That's the behavior change you want. And this is for a lot more than just, I want to keep wearing the watch without throwing it out the window. It's for your life.
Yes.
Stand up when it tells you to stand up.
Yeah. It's a lot more important than people think. Like there's so many of these issues that can come up, and over time they don't realize it adds up over the years, the months, and just it will affect your health, definitely. Even my watch will sometimes tells me like time to get up. I'm like, really? I'm like, I feel like I just sat down.
You're up all the time.
I'm like, I was just up. I'm like, come on, let me sit down for a little bit. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get up. It says get up.
I also I want to shout out to organizations that do walking meetings. Walking meetings are huge. Like if you're on a teleconference, it's kind of easy. If you don't have to be at your computer, put on your earbuds and take a walk and take the meeting outside. Actually, I think you will find your participation in the meeting is better. Your brain is energized. You're moving around. You've got some. You'll be more attentive. That's been my experience, at least. Walking meetings. I actually have a colleague who is a manager and runs constant meetings and actually does them in person while walking. There's a little frontage park near their building. They leave the building and they have their conversations while walking through this little park. It's good for everybody to get out and do that. Super annoying for some people. They just can't quite get it. But I just feel like this is central to a long and healthy future, to use every excuse you can to move around.
Definitely do that.
Now walk me through help me picture what I'm doing at the gym so that I can feel at home when I walk through the door, knowing that this is my central problem. I've got problems in my neck and my spine, and my glutes have turned off and my hip flexors are too tight. What are you going to make me do?
Well, I'm going to activate all those muscles. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to hurt because your body's not used to it, right?
But in a good way.
Everything. But in a good way. It's going to be painful, but in a good way. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
But that's why I, with few free sessions that I give people, like I do certain things just to check out their posture, see what's wrong. If it's always the hip flexors that are way too tight, and the lower back issues and the back problem. They can't put their shoulders back. They can't stand up straight. So then I have to do it depends of how bad really it is. Like you said, if somebody's been doing this, been like this for 10 years, then someone who's been only doing for a year or 2 years, been in that sitting position, it's a lot easier to progress and move to the next level and do certain exercises. But people that have been for a long time, then I have to go through some almost like physical therapy stuff to get their shoulders and back muscle to start activating, for their glutes to activate, because they don't even know how to activate the glutes. They can't. It's weird. Even for them, it's like they activate their glutes, and they're like they don't know how to use them. Like they'll try to use everything else, and usually it's a lower back. And certain things like that, like they don't know how to use their back. It's just shoulders kicks in every time, and they feel all this in the shoulder, and I'm like, it's not supposed to feel in the shoulder at all. It's supposed to be your back. But and then I have to take certain steps to get them to that point, and I have to remind them from now on, when you work, when you're at the desk and you're in the office or home, just stand up, get up, move around. That's going to help, because just 1 hour here, I can't do anything in that 1 hour, when for the 10 hours you're over there going in different positions. So
I would just like everybody who's listening to the show right now, if you're in your car, you're sitting at your desk, maybe you're on a walk, just ask yourself if, when Srdjan said they don't know how to activate their glutes, if you squeeze your butt together real tight.
See if you can still squeeze.
See if you can squeeze. I bet they're already trying. I know that I'm like, oh, can I activate my glutes? I can't. Oh, thank God. I can't. I'm okay. I'm okay. We can keep talking.
I almost want to try and can I activate my back? I was like, oh, that hurts. I'm like, oh yeah, that hurts because it's a weak muscle. You haven't been using it, stretched out. That's why, like, for example, I love doing split squats. They're great. They stretch your hips, your hip flexors, that one leg that's up. And people hate them because of that.
Yeah.
And usually, like, ask them, like, where do you feel? And they're pointing at the hip flexor. I'm like, this hurts so bad. They're not even feeling where they're supposed to, like quads, hamstring, like glute, nothing. And they're pointing at the hip flexor because that hurts the most. Because you're finally stretching that muscle that it's been overworked and just been flexed the whole 10 hours a day. It's just crazy. So after, a few months, they get better at it, but get stronger. It's just, there's some exercises that I do with every single client because they're very beneficial. It makes them do things, putting them in an uncomfortable position because of that. So pick the exercise stuff that's uncomfortable for you. Don't be in that comfort zone and do things that feel good because you're probably going to be in the bad. Your posture is probably bad and it feels good because you're used to that, right? Yeah. So do the things that actually hurt a little bit and makes
hurt in this context is not broken. Hurt is not broken. Hurt is actually on the mend. It's okay.
It's okay.
It is not. I really like that reframe. Yeah, it's like exercise doesn't have to be a chore or it's not a work. It doesn't have to be a workout. It can be like, this is a major feature of your day that you get to do. That's the mindset shift, and getting to stand up, getting to make those changes in your life is a real benefit, and it pays dividends in every area.
Yeah, and this is just a posture. I'm like, those things even here, like I can kind of help you and fix them and stuff like that. But when you come to metabolism, to, processing all those carbs and sugars going through your bloodstream, and, think about that. I think that's worse than your posture. Posture, we can do a lot of stretching. We can have you get off the desk, get up and stretch, but, your metabolism, that's where the problems comes in, especially people are trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
You want those carbs and the sugar that's going through our bloodstream be used for a fuel, your muscles to use as a fuel for energy and not have it stored as fat. But because of the enzyme that's so low, the body doesn't use it, doesn't need to. You're not moving. The muscles are not moving. And it just gets stored as fat. Yeah. So again, doesn't matter that you're working out just 1 hour a day. It's not going to just speed up your metabolism magically, and, everything you eat now, it's just going to be, your body's going to use it as a fuel. Yeah. And it's not going to happen. So think about that. To me, that's more scarier than the posture. I'm like, I can kind of sit, even when I'm sitting, try to pull my shoulder back, watching a movie, whatever, and then, try to stand up straight. But I'm not moving those muscles. The enzyme is still low. All the stuff internally that's going on, that's the
stuff you
part.
Can't see.
Yes, that you can't see. But then you're wondering, like, I'm doing everything right, and I'm still gaining weight. And I don't understand why. That's why. And that's why the people say it's important to get those steps in. 8,000, 10,000 steps, get them in.
It's not about the steps. It's about the movement.
And it's not that hard. You're not lifting heavy weights. You're just moving. Just move.
You don't even have to be proud of them. You don't have to be proud of your steps. Just do the steps. Who cares? No, exactly. You're not showing off. You're not showing off to anybody.
Do it for yourself. Yeah. Just try to hit that goal, your personal goal that you hit.
Keep moving, everybody. Thank you so much, Srdjan. Thank you. I mean, the whole objective of this conversation is just to plant a seed to remind you that tomorrow you could be feeling different. If you feel like you're too sedentary, you probably are, and you could be feeling different with just a few small changes. And that's just start visualizing yourself as someone who does that. Hugely, hugely important to live a long and healthy life. Thank you for your time and attention. We appreciate you being here. If you've got questions about training, recovery, or how to make strength work in your life, we want to hear them. Head to the show notes and then you'll see a link that says send in a question for the coach. And don't forget to subscribe and share. This is how we grow stronger together. Thanks for listening to Build for Health. We'll see you next week in the gym.